That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted.
Why would one of these presidents not call out Donald Trump in his face? They always allow him to just say things with no evidence to back them. They sometimes, to me, it feels like sometimes they are just scared. They're just scared to call him in his face. Because Donald Trump will tell you in your face. Donald Trump will tell you. He will flatter you 1 second, and in another second, in the next second, he's going to just tell you what he thinks. So why can they not also tell him just like Macron did last time? Just like Justin Trudeau did last time. These African leaders, these old people imagine if the president of Burkina Faso can sit in front of Donald Trump. He will tell Donald Trump in his face that you are lying. But these guys will go there and Trump will just say things that are not true. And instead of them just say, no, President, Mr. President, that is not true. That is not what is happening. But they would rather sit there and allow him to spread this falsehood. And you know, when he says it, it's just going to blow out. Because he says it as the President of the United States, as the president that everybody wants to go to the White House to have a sit-down talk. Meeting with the president of South Africa. Just listen to, let's just listen to this.
Our Constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that Constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And we are going to be doing so.
You're taking people's land away
we have not.
from them.
We have,
and those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white.
Why can he not now say no, President Trump? That is untrue. If that is happening, that is unlawful. That is a crime. And if anybody is caught killing any person and seizing their land, they are going to be prosecuted. He should just say it is illegal to do that in South Africa. But he sits there and let him just spread this as if South Africa is a jungle. If South Africa is a jungle, everywhere there are crimes. There are crimes even happening in America, crazy ones. So he should have said no. If that is happening, that is illegal. And those who are committing such atrocities are criminals and would face the arm of the law. That is what he should have said.
And most of them happen to be farmers. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away, and in many cases, those people are being executed. And in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa.
So, because they are white farmers, they are allowed to come into the United States. And I think that this was being pushed by Elon Musk. Because let's not forget, Elon Musk is South African, white South African. Because you cannot explain to me that America is shutting down its border from everybody except white South Africans. And imagine, white South Africans. During the apartheid, when blacks were being killed, did America give them any special resettlement project? Did they? No, they did not. But because Elon Musk bought the presidency and told Donald Trump, you need to push this narrative. Because these are not only, how many of them? Has America given a special resettlement project for people in Gaza? What about Ukrainians? Have they?
And it's a bad thing. Yeah, please.
First, what can South Africa do? What concessions would you like to see them make to improve relations with the United States? Then I have one more for President Ramaphosa afterwards.
Well, you know, we just spoke about, I got them a very, very complex machine, 150 of them. I was asked by the president if he could help, and I did that. And, you know, I have great feeling for all countries. Look, I deal with all countries. But I have a great feeling for South Africa because I have friends. I have a couple of friends, a few friends here today. I have many friends from South Africa. But
he should have just said, I have a friend in South Africa who bought me the presidency. I have a very important friend in South Africa called Elon Musk, who happens to be the richest person in the planet. He should have just said that.
Many of those friends are not, they can't go back. I have, Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved.
Thank you. You don't want to get Elon involved. Elon was the one who actually got you to do this. Because if Elon wasn't involved in you being re-elected, you would not have done that.
That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject, sending rockets to Mars, okay? Yes. He likes that better. He likes that subject better. That's right. But Elon is from South Africa, and I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him. That's right. But I will say that people are fleeing South.
You see what I was saying? This man sits there, and Donald Trump is saying all of these things, and all he's saying is, that's right. That's right. Do we really think that without America, countries cannot survive? Do we really think that? That without America being on your side, you cannot survive? Because if that is the way we think, then we all just have to bow down and kiss this man's ass. You don't sit there as a president who represents another country and somebody is saying something that you know is not right. But because you want to please him, you sit there and you're saying, that's right, that's right, that's right. Accepting this side of the story, this narrative from Mr. Donald J. Trump.
South Africa for their own safety. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases they're being killed. And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them. And those trucks or cars are paying their respects to all of those dead people on a Sunday morning. That's a rough thing to explain.
To be honest, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. You sit there and somebody is talking about your country like that, and all you can do is just watch and say, that's right, instead of jumping in. Jump in as the president of South Africa and defend your country. Defend your country's image. But you sit there and you're like, I just want to kiss your ass. Looking at him like, I just want to kiss you. I just want to let you put it in my ass. What is this? What is this? When you go back to your country, what are you going to tell your people? What are you going to tell your people? That I went to meet Donald Trump, and Donald Trump was saying all of these things, and I just sat there and did not even defend my people as the president of South Africa.
Explain away. And the problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things. But we have a very corrupt media. they won't even report this. If this were the other way around, it would be.
They wouldn't report this because most of the things you've shown there, you haven't even shown anything. You've just shown Julius Malema making a speech. We all know Julius Malema makes all those speeches. Same like some of your people, some of the people in your Senate, in Congress, they also make similar speeches. Do we remember what was her name? Marjorie MTG. MTG said Jewish people were the one causing the wildfires in America by, what was it? Space lasers. They say Democrats are killing children and sucking their blood. Those are things people say is freedom of speech. Julius Malema will go make a speech, but did anybody actually? Is there any evidence to prove that blacks are killing white farmers and taking their farms? You have to defend your country. If you do not defend your country, that means it's true. That means Donald Trump is right.
Be the biggest story. Now, I will say apartheid, terrible. That was the biggest story. That was reported all the time. This is sort of the opposite of apartheid. What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa. And it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. The numbers of people that want to leave South Africa because they feel they're going to be dead very soon.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was
please.
going to say,
Brian, go.
if I could just ask you a question. 72% of farmers in your country are white. If they flee, do you feel that maybe the economy could collapse? You may not have a gap to fill in those people that need to replace those farmers.
You know, I'd like.
You see the question that whoever is asking is already painting a narrative. He's already painting a narrative, saying that most white farmers will flee. Flee to where? That is their country. Where will they flee to? So are you trying to compare this so-called white farmers genocide to a crisis? Are you trying to tell the world that what Donald Trump is saying is so rampant that most South African white farmers are willing to run away from South Africa? This man cannot even defend his own country. He sits there and let these people paint this narrative. Who is he pointing to? Who is he pointing to
Like
now?
my Minister of Agriculture, who is white,
Okay,
who comes
interesting.
from an opposition party to mine, who's joined my government at my invitation to address this very issue, including the question that you've just raised. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a rural safety problem in South Africa. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require a different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organized agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they too there have a memorial to those who've died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the justice cluster to start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft.
That is a very, very good point he just made. It affects all farmers. The crime that they're trying to tack on white people again, they're trying to make it look like black South Africans are just trying to kill all white farmers. He has just said it happens to all farmers. Crime is a crime. And it's so refreshing to see that the Minister of Agriculture is a white South African who comes from the so-called white farmers population of South Africa. So, is he going to defend South Africa more than the president? Or he's going to accept the narrative that these people are trying to paint on black South Africans?
Disproportionate effect on smallholder black farmers. I also want to just say this, that the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa. Nkonto Wesizwe under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our Parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union buildings.
That is how you defend your country. That is how you answer to this narrative. Firm. Not sit there and just nod your head, nod your head, nod your head. And look at that man, Mr. Donald J. Trump, the way he's always sitting. Why does he even sit like that? Why is he so angry? Look at his face. That's the face of an angry person. Why is he always this angry? Really? Why? What makes him so moody and angry, as if somebody is trying to kill him? As if, why? Why does he sit like that? Why? But to be honest, the Minister of Agriculture has just given the correct response to this white South African genocide. Perfect response. And he's a perfect person to have. Because the President of South Africa, he hasn't done anything that pushes back this narrative. All he's done is not.
Because then South Africa's future would be...
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh yes, we've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said...
It's a freedom of speech. Why would they arrest him? What has he done? If you're saying they should arrest somebody for speaking, then you would have arrested most Republican politicians, because that is how they speak. It is called freedom of speech, Mr. Donald J. Trump. You yourself, if it was just about speech, like you will be in jail by now. What are you talking about?
Kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And their farm is valueless. It's valueless. And they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation. And if we had a real news...
Stop nodding your head. Jump in there and defend your country. How does he even say the people are running away and their farms are valueless? If the farms are valueless, then that's why they're running away. They're running away because the farms are not even giving them any profit. That's why they're running away. Why can't you defend your people, my friend? Don't sit there and nod your head.
Or real press or media. We don't have that because they won't talk about this because they're all guys like that idiot. But if we had a real press, it would be exposed. And you know, the beauty of exposing it is it's like a cleansing action. When it gets exposed, it'll get fixed. That's when it'll get fixed. But people don't talk about it. And I'll tell you who's talking about the thousands of people that are fleeing South Africa right now.
Come on, this is just pathetic. This is just, how do you sit there and let somebody just shit on your own people? And all you do is not. Why can't he defend his own people? Why?
We discussed USAID and the devastating impact the cuts are having across the African continent.
Yeah, well, it's devastating, and hopefully a lot of people are going to start spending a lot of money. And I've talked to other nations. We want them to chip in and spend money too. And we've spent a lot, and it's a tremendous problem going on in many countries. A lot of problems going on. The United States always gets the request for money. Nobody else helps, as you know. Europe doesn't help. Europe hasn't given anything. All they do is sue our companies. You know, they sue Apple, and they sue all of our companies. Apple had to pay $17 billion on a...
Anyway, people, you know, Donald Trump is just going to say stuff now. I'm really disappointed with the president of South Africa. When you go back, Julius Malema is going to slaughter him. In Parliament, it's going to be like Julius Malema is just waiting for him to come back. You go and sit there and somebody just says, president says all this about your country, and you cannot even defend your own people. You cannot even defend your own country as the president of South Africa. Anyway, people, let me know what you think of this meeting. Was President Cyril Ramaphosa, did he actually defend South Africa? What was his, what do you think? What are your impressions about him? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try and put more focus on this channel to build it. And if you can give me a thumbs up and put on that notification bell so that I can get my channel to 100,000 subs, that would be awesome. Still trying to build, still working, still believing, and I'm not going to stop. Have a blessed day. See you guys. Stay safe.